This is DD India and you're watching Express News, a program where we bring for you top 100 news of the day. I am Tanvi Taneja. Let's begin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi received UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan at the Delhi airport on Monday as he arrived in India on an official visit. The visit illustrates the importance Al Nahyan attaches to a strong India-UAE friendship. India and the UAE share multi-dimensional ties anchored in strong political engagement, deep cultural connections and a rapidly expanding economic partnership. Prime Minister Modi welcomed Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the UAE, and his family at his residence at Lok Kalyan Marg. Prime Minister Modi presented traditional Indian gifts from various parts of the country to them. US President Donald Trump on Sunday invited Prime Minister Narendra Modi to be part of the Board of Peace that will work towards bringing lasting peace to Gaza. Polish Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Radoslaw Sikorski met External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in New Delhi on Monday. During his opening remarks, the minister said that bilateral relations have progressed over the past few years and would review the Action Plan 2024 to 2028. Polish Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister reiterated Poland's support in India's fight against cross-border terrorism. India's Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal met US Senator Steve Daines and the US Ambassador to India Sergio Gore. They had a productive exchange of views on bilateral relationship. A four-member Indian delegation led by Sanjeev Kumar, Secretary for Defence Production, is visiting Kenya to enhance bilateral defence manufacturing capabilities. The visit aims to promote India's defence exports and foster industrial cooperation. January 19th marks the 21st raising day of the National Disaster Response Force, India's frontline warriors in times of crises and natural disasters. On this day, the NDRF completes 20 years of dedicated service to the nation. Sharing pictures of the NDRF personnel engaged in relief and management work, Prime Minister Modi extended gratitude and appreciation to the National Disaster Relief Force on its raising day. Prime Minister Modi also underscored NDRF's efforts to protect lives, provide relief and restore hope. He described their skills and sense of duty as the epitome of the highest standards of service. India's Home Minister Amit Shah on Monday also praised the National Disaster Response Force, saying it has become the pillar of trust the nation relies on during calamities. Union Agriculture Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan addressed a press conference in New Delhi on the Viksit Bharat Guarantee for Rozgar Ajivika Mission Grameen Bill. The minister noted measures taken to strengthen rural employment and improve the effectiveness of the bill. Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid homage to Parbati Giri on her birth centenary on Monday. Prime Minister Modi commended her role in the movement to end colonial rule, her passion for community service. Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change Bhupendra Yadav chaired the 88th meeting of the Standing Committee of the National Board for Wildlife in New Delhi on Monday. Union Minister of Housing and Urban Affairs Manohar Lal Khattar inaugurated the Centre of Excellence for Regulatory Affairs in the Power Sector at Indian Institute of Technology, New Delhi. It aims to strengthen India's regulatory capacity in the power sector amid rising electricity demand and large-scale renewable energy integration. During his visit to the Andaman and Nicobar Regional Centre of the Zoological Survey of India on Monday, Science and Technology Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh highlighted the critical role of Andaman and Nicobar Islands' biodiversity in ensuring India's environmental and economic security. At least 8 soldiers were injured today in Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar district, where an encounter broke out between security forces and terrorists on Sunday. India sent 30 tons of humanitarian assistance, including NDRF relief material, essential medicines and the Bhishma Medical Cube to assist in the relief and recovery efforts after the recent super typhoon in the Philippines. Election Commission of India will host the India International Conference on Democracy and Election Management 2026 from Wednesday in New Delhi. The three-day conference is poised to be the largest global conference of its kind hosted by India in the field of democracy and election management. Indian equity indices ended on a negative note with Nifty below 25,600 points on Monday. Nifty was down 109 points to settle at 25,586. The Sensex at the Bombay Stock Exchange declined 324 points to settle at 83,246. At the Forex market, Indian rupee ended marginally lower at 90 rupees 91 paise against the US dollar on Monday. Gold futures maturing on 5th February were priced at 145,113 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for 5th March maturity stood at 302,780 rupees per kilo on the MCX. Electronics and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said that India recorded electronics exports worth a record $47 billion in 2025. This was driven largely by PLI, production-linked incentive smartphone shipments. He noted that the sector has emerged as the country's third largest export generator. Tokyo Electric Power will delay the restart of the Kashiwazaki-Kariwa nuclear plant, originally scheduled for January 20th, citing safety preparations and ongoing drills. The IMF has raised 2026 global growth forecast to 3.3%, citing AI and tech investment, but warns of trade uncertainties, market corrections, and uneven recovery across regions. Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi announced a 2-year freeze on the 8% food sales tax to ease household costs, promising broader economic and fiscal reforms. Mercedes-Benz launched production of its new GLB model at its Kacsmit plant in Hungary on Monday, opening what the automaker called the largest product offensive in its history. In response to US President Trump's tariff threats over Greenland, European leaders will convene an extraordinary summit in Brussels on Thursday to discuss the bloc's response to the United States. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Monday called the use of tariffs against allies completely wrong and said that any decision about the future status of Greenland belongs to the people of the Arctic island and the Kingdom of Denmark alone. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and other members said on Sunday that the EU and Britain stand firm in their commitment to uphold the sovereignty of Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark. Netherlands Foreign Affairs Minister David van Wiel said that the use of trade tariffs in this way is inappropriate and, moreover, unnecessary. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney said that the future of Greenland should be decided by Greenland and Denmark alone. Syrian President Ahmed al-Shara on Sunday announced that the Syrian government and the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces agreed on an immediate and comprehensive ceasefire on all fronts on Sunday. Under the agreement, Syrian authorities will take other civilian institutions, border crossings and oil and gas fields that have underpinned Kurdish self-rule. Syrian Kurdish leader Mazloum Abdi in a televised address said that he agreed to the deal to avoid a broader conflict and said that he is set to meet Shara in Damascus on Monday. Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi on Monday announced a snap general election for February 8th. Takaichi said that the lower house will be dissolved on January 23rd, with campaigning beginning from January 27th. Spanish police on Monday investigated the train tracks of the high-speed trains after 2 trains derailed and collided, leaving at least 39 people dead and over 122 injured Sunday night. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez expressed deep sorrow and offered sincerest condolences over the accident. The Prime Minister will visit the site of the collision later today. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar also expressed deep sorrow over the tragic train accident in Ademuz near Cordoba in Spain. The World Economic Forum's annual meeting 2026 is set to begin in Davos on Monday. The 5-day summit will run until January 23rd under the theme, A Spirit of Dialogue. Cooperation in a contested world, innovation-led growth and inclusive development is on the cards. More than 5,000 armed forces personnel, snipers, AI-powered drones and special tools to counter spywares and espionage are placed in the Swiss town. Demonstrations are also part of this year's WEF. This time, Swiss government is willing to authorize demonstrations, but it has said that requirements to protect people, infrastructure and property must be respected. At least one person was killed and at least 6 others, including a police officer, wounded in a shooting at a Czech town hall on Monday. Authorities said that the gunman also died. Pakistani firefighters and rescue teams searched for survivors on Monday after at least 15 were killed and more than 60 missing after a massive blaze engulfed Karachi's Gul Plaza Mall. A Russian overnight drone strike on southern Ukraine's Odessa region damaged energy, gas and residential infrastructure on Monday. One person was reported to be injured. The Kremlin said on Monday that Russian President Vladimir Putin has been invited to join US President Trump's Board of Peace in Gaza, meant to oversee governance and reconstruction in the war-torn region. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni agreed on Monday to expand cooperation in sectors such as that of artificial intelligence, aerospace, chips and critical minerals. The two leaders also agreed to intensify joint efforts to develop resilient and reliable critical mineral supply chains. We're heading for a short break here on Express News. We'll be back in just a bit. Stay tuned to DD India.
Welcome to Jharkhand, the land of forests.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's resume. A thick layer of fog blanketed India's capital city Delhi on Monday, sharply reducing visibility across the capital and surrounding National Capital Region. Srinagar in India's north woke to a milder minus 1.2 degrees Celsius on Monday. Wet weather, including rain and snow in higher reaches, is expected over the coming week as the valley continues its harsh Chilai-Kala period. A landslide struck southern Argentina as part of Mount Hermit in Chubut province collapsed, destroying homes, damaging roads and prompting evacuations. Air quality in Nepal's Kathmandu Valley has worsened this winter, reaching very unhealthy levels during mornings and evenings as smog traps pollutants in the basin. South Africa's National Disaster Management Centre declared a national disaster as heavy rains and flooding continue to hit northern regions. Flooding has killed at least 20 people, damaged over 2,600 homes, forced partial closure of Kruger National Park and prompted rescue operations with helicopters deployed by the National Defence Force. At least 19 people have died in forest fires that swept through Chile's Biobío and Ñuble regions over the weekend. The fires in Chile have caused extensive damage to homes, buildings and forests. Authorities continue evacuations and assessments as fires spread across the affected areas. Heavy snowfall in Syria's northwestern Idlib province has worsened conditions for displaced people, with some areas seeing higher snow accumulation than in previous years. Persistent snow, freezing temperatures and fuel shortages are making survival difficult for families in refugee camps of Idlib, where tents serve as the only shelter amid harsh winter weather. The 53rd New Delhi World Book Fair concluded on Sunday at Bharat Mandapam, drawing over 2 million visitors. Free entry and a focus on young authors, children's books and regional language publications were the highlights of the event this year. Uttar Pradesh's Saharanpur is gearing up for Basant Panchami festival with colourful kites filling the skies. Authorities have banned dangerous Chinese kite thread, installed safety wires. Police are on alert as demand for the kites rises ahead of the festival. Jammu and Kashmir's Tourism Department has launched ski courses at Sonmarg to train local youth and boost winter sports. Light music and band performances wowed devotees on the fourth day of the Mahakal festival in Ujjain. Large number of devotees gathered to enjoy the cultural performances, adding to the spiritual and festive atmosphere of the ongoing celebrations. Traditional horse races thrilled spectators in Kachch's Vekaria Run in Gujarat. Riders and indigenous breeds competed in 6 races, judged on grooming, gait and stamina, with winners taking cash and motorcycles. Vietnam's Moc Chau Plateau has entered peak flower season as plum, peach and mustard blossoms cover the landscape, coinciding with the launch of the 2026 tourism year under the campaign Moc Chau, Promise of the Blooming Season. The campaign aims to boost tourism, attract international visitors and promote sustainable community-based development, strengthening Moc Chau's position as a leading nature-based destination. Residents in western Japan's Kushimoto town held an annual fire festival, burning vast stretches of turf to eliminate pests and encourage new spring growth as flaming arrows ignited fields in Wakayama prefecture. Bolivia's La Paz launched 40 days of carnival with the traditional Desentierro del Pepino. This ceremony is a mock funeral procession marking the rebirth of the city's iconic mischievous characters. Beauty queens revived the Pepino with kisses in the Desentierro del Pepino ceremony, bringing it back to life and kicking off the 2026 carnival season as crowds cheered and folkloric groups danced in La Paz. For the 11th consecutive year, Morocco is participating in Berlin's International Green Week 2026, one of the world's leading exhibitions for agriculture, food and horticulture, running until January 25th. Morocco's participation in the Green Week event reflects the kingdom's strategy to strengthen its position within global agricultural and food value chains, according to an official statement. Orthodox faithfuls across Russia took part in Epiphany celebrations on Sunday evening, dipping into icy waters to commemorate the baptism of Jesus Christ in the Jordan River. Despite harsh winter temperatures, with Siberia's Omsk region at around -20 degrees Celsius, participants said the icy water offered a brief feeling of warmth and purity during the religious ceremony. Hungary's Lake Balaton froze enough for safe skating near the southern shore on Sunday, with ice thickness reaching 12 to 15 centimeters after days of sub-freezing temperatures.